lift up my eyes unto the hills, from whence comes my help. My help comes from the Lord, the God of the heavens and the earth. Because many trust in chariots and some in horses, but we trust in the name of the Lord our God, the one that has given us life, hope, the one in whom He is to come, the Maker, the Redeemer, the Fortress, the Buckler, the Hero, the Mastermind of the world, the one who has the footprint of His own, making the heavens His dwelling place. The earth is His footprint, His footstool He is, and we call Him our Father. And that is why this morning we'll look up unto the hills to say, yes, your helper. My name is SAMSON OMOTOSHO, and today the program is Press Drive, the TJF edition of the show. Thank God it's Friday, the weekend is near, and rest is near. Okay, so let's get started already. So many, several dailies in front of me that we're going to be looking at one after the other this morning. So I want you to sit back, relax, and enjoy every bit of them that we're going to be giving to you, dishing it out to you one after the other. Fasten your seatbelt. Let's drive. All right, so let me begin with the Punch newspaper this morning. A lot to dish out from for us to look at drastically this morning. Written on the front page of the Punch newspaper, it's all about Natasha and Akpabio. And, Akpabio denies sexual harassment allegations. Also, Rivers yet to receive Assembly 48-hour budget ultimatum, says SSG. Naira rally puts currency speculators on edge. Also, Obasan's resignation not in our agreement, says Lagos APC. Well, the Rivers crisis is still here because the Niger Delta groups threaten violence as a budget ultimatum expires today. Well, it's also updated. Natasha files sexual harassment petition against Akpabio at plenary. On cyberbullying, Falano asked AGF to withdraw IG suit against Showore. Also, Makinde approves your Sovereign Wealth Fund aims for $250 million. Makinde approves your Sovereign Wealth Fund aims for $250 million. Also, South African police arrest Nigerian man for smuggling cocaine. Also, Wike in Italy for agriculture vocational education talks. Sanwo-Olu grants first bank approval to build headquarters in Eko Atlantic. Sanwo-Olu grants first bank approval to build headquarters in Eko Atlantic. All right, so NAFDAC arrests women on capital market investment opportunities. PDP has lost hope in itself, says Jando. The local government crisis in Osun, APC PDP trade words over Adeleke Akonde's meeting. Abia PDP expels Wabara, 6 new BOT chairman. Also, Makinde to reveal preferred successor January 2026. While in sport, Wanere becomes the third youngest scorer in UCL knockout stage, meaning the UEFA Champions League knockout stage. Jamie Carragher meets a clumsy AFCON remark after backlash. LeBron James becomes an NBA record scorer with 50,000 career points. That's a lot of points to amass in the NBA. Congratulations, LeBron James. Alright, so let's move on to other newspaper making headlines this morning. Moving on to the Daily Post newspaper. Let's see what Daily Post has for us. What does it have for us this morning? Senator Natasha, don't be in position. Men will talk to you anyhow. Tinubu's wife tells women. Yeah, that's it for the Natasha saga. The First Lady says, don't be in position. Men will talk to you anyhow. When I'm not looking at stock market tariffs will make U.S. very strong. That's coming from the president himself, Donald Trump. U.S. President Donald Trump says, I'm not looking at stock market. Tariffs will make U.S. very strong. Well, Fubara appoints a new vice chancellor of Rivers State University. Also, my suspension illegal. I remain legitimate senator. That's coming from Senator Natasha as she blows hot. Our president of Lombardy in Italy promises a vocational training institute. Others for FCT. U.S. destroying world order. That says ex-Ukraine army chief. Trump's aide Witkoff says, for the ceasefire, I'm arranging talks with Ukraine in Saudi Arabia. Our Governor Buni allays civil servants' fear of retirement. Also, government commends SFH on family planning data management. Adamawa set to train 10,000 youth on welding, catering other skills. For Russia versus Ukraine war, Zelensky heads to Saudi Arabia. And Abiodun commiserates with Health Minister Salako over mother's death. So let's move on to other newspaper making the rounds. Alright, so landing on the Nation newspaper, lawsuits academy students graduate. A lot of talk on that. You can read further to see what really that is talking about. Well, for the Supreme Court, no evidence, 27 Rivers lawmakers defected. That's it, coming from the Supreme Court. No evidence, Supreme Court says. President's aide leaves less privileged. NEPAD announces relaunch rebranding. And the new Crystal Communications transform Nigerians' ads with 3D digital billboards. Senate suspends Akpoti Uduaghan for 6 months. And Tinubu hires 774 healthcare volunteers. Alright, so let's move on to the entertainment section of the Nation newspaper this morning. No real love in entertainment industry, says Adeniji. Well, the late Sound Sultan remembering the 6 Feet entertainment 4 years after. You can't downplay effort of a DJ, says DJ Neptune. Tony Omologo, Tenny Omologo says only Mohbad's father can get quick justice for late singer. I repeat, Tenny Omologo says only Mohbad's father can get quick justice for late singer. Duchess for the take on the Nation newspaper. Let's quickly move on to the Vanguard newspaper this morning. While written boldly on the front page of the Vanguard, the Enugu government bans unlawful pasting of posters, defaulters to pay 50 million naira. Trump backs off Mexico, Canada tariffs after market blow hot. Okay, blow back. Our stock market indices rebound up 0.32%. Stock market indices rebounds up 0.32%. Also, federal government launches guidelines for establishing coordinating organ transplanting services. I remain a legitimate senator despite illegal suspension, says Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan. Our Senate suspends Senator Akpoti-Uduaghan for 6 months. For Rivers crisis, militant group Spitfire threatens oil production. The Simon Ekpa sanctioned accounts frozen for alleged terrorism financing. Well, Air Chief visits Zamfara airstrike victims take responsibility. Well, Shehu Sani is on the news as I nearly got suspended for revealing senators' allowances in 2018. Well, blackout, angry Air Force personnel storm Ikeja disco, batter staff. Court grants Judo Koyi 50 million naira bail in $1 million, 34,000 pound theft case. That's for Judo Koyi, the senior brother to P-Square. Well, autonomy. I'll go and ask the local government chairman to approach CBN for documentation. Edo government demolishes houses linked with kidnapping. Also, EFCC grills Tinubu's ex-minister over alleged 138 million naira fraud. The federal government says we are committed to climate action. PDP crisis, members suggest solutions, recommend sanctions. Labour parties urge Senate to revisit Akpoti-Uduaghan's suspension. Finally, court orders final forfeiture of $1.4 million linked to Emefiele. A lot of persons are really happy with this news, right? Alright, so that's the much we'll be able to take on several dailies this morning. Analysis comes up shortly. Please stay with us. Alright, so welcome back from that breather. Okay, so I want to bring on my analyst as usual on a Friday like this. Honorable Femi Adebisi joins the conversation. Good morning to you. Thank God it's Friday, the weekend is here. Rest is near. Thank God
it's Friday. Thank God is a moment of reflection. Today is the 7th day of the Ramadan. I want to welcome you to Nigeria, where every day gives you so many trouble to think about. Good morning.
Okay.
Welcome.
Well, good morning to you. So, let's look at some few news allegations. Senate President Godswill Akpabio has denied allegations of sexual harassment made against him by Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan. Akpabio denied the allegation on Wednesday during the Senate's plenary session after a one-week break. He said, in quote, "At no time did I ever harass any woman. I was raised very well by my late single mother, and I have always upheld respect for women. I was even awarded the most gender-friendly governor in Nigeria." Akpabio said he had been receiving calls about the matter since February 25 and was aware of the discussion on social media. He urged Nigerians on the media to avoid making conclusions, asking them to wait for the court's decision. Shortly after his comment, Akpoti Uduaghan raised a petition under Order 40, accusing him of sexual harassment and abuse of office. She asked to officially submit the petition to the Senate. And I want to quickly see one of the stories that really spelled out, the entire allegations against her. The filing, the ethics of the Senate, the Red Chamber, particularly. And yes, 6 months suspension. This particular story I want us to quickly look at. The Kogi Central will challenge the court. The challenging court, the 6 month suspension slammed on her following a face-off with the Senate President Godswill Akpabio after sitting arraignment in the Red Chamber. The legal counsel to the Kogi lawmaker Victor Giwa dismissed the Senate's resolution as a violation of a court order. Giwa spoke with the bench yesterday after the Kogi lawmaker was suspended by the Senate and walked out from the National Assembly complex. The Nigerian Bar Association are opposite that the Senate suspend Natasha Akpoti Uduaghan with immediate effect, from March 6, which was yesterday, 2025, from all legislative activities. 4, that her office be locked up for the duration of her suspension, and that she hands over all Senate properties in her possession to the clerk of the National Assembly. 5, that for the duration of her suspension, she must not be seen within the vicinity of the Senate or the National Assembly, including her staff. 6, that her salaries and allowances, including those of her legislative aides, be suspended, that all security details assigned to her be withdrawn for the period of her suspension. 7, that during her suspension she be barred from representing herself locally and internationally as a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. 7 points.
And you see, Akpabio was putting up a defense that was so watery. Yes, he claimed that his upbringing, I don't know, the way her manner is so watery. Such cannot stand before the jury. You cannot say that I'm not this, I'm not. You have to put up evidences contrary to the allegations against you.
Two things I want to quickly ask. Two things I want to quickly ask for want of time, because we have a lot to cover.
Okay.
Now, for the part of Natasha wasn't allowed to present evidences before the Senate. That is one.
Fabio, on the issue of sexual harassment, and no denial anywhere. Irete King Gigbe also, mentioned something like being harassed in a way. But of course, she has turned back. She's a friend of the house now. So, all those things suggest that, well, there's something they are covering. But the second one was the issue of the court. They quickly have to, jump that, no voice for no voice for Natasha. So, that and that. So, but one thing that strikes me is, suspending her from being, from referring herself as a senator in the house. You can't, that's a right that has been vested in her by the Constitution. You cannot suspend the Constitution. Not only that.
7 points.
During, okay, let's come back to the issue of the time when Dino Meraya and 11 others, when they were suspended by as senators in the House. Femi Falana went to the court on their behalf, and they said that, in fact, the House, by its own rule, said that nobody should be suspended beyond 14 days. That's on one side. And on the other side, by the time that judgment was given, they said that even the court lack the capacity to suspend any of its member. So, I mean, you can't suspend the vote of the people. You can't suspend the right of the people to representation. For God's sake,
I want to ask about this, because when you look at it, she's going to be suspended for 6 months, no salary. She's not going to be represented.
And not only that, she's now exposed. All the police details
have been withdrawn. No. And when you look at it again, I want us to note this. Now, not that she is not going to get salary, not that the security aid has been withdrawn. There's a clause attached to it. That clause is that she must tender a letter of apology.
No, what they want is to cover all those allegations. They felt that they could just, threaten her. But I know that lady is not going to submit to that.
All right. Response to the ongoing political crisis and the alleged withholding of the state's federal allocation, the group also issued a stern warning to non-indigenes in the state, urging them to leave for their own safety as their claims hostilities were imminent. In response, the River State Police Command vowed to crack down on any threats to national security, insisting that no group has the monopoly of violence. The Commissioner of Police, Olugbenga Adepoju, assured residents that security forces were prepared to contain any disruptions, warning that law enforcement would not tolerate attempts to destabilize the state. Adepoju dismissed the threat by the militants or others, saying the police were equal to the task. He stated, you see, in quote, he says, you see what the entire oil production is a threat.
Well, that's a threat. In fact, the threat goes to the extent of probably, thinking of secession. Yes. In legal proceeding, I think a major consideration always go to the public interest. Yes. But unfortunately, just like my friend put it, the law does not look at, what is good or what is bad. It only look at what is wrong and what is right. So, what Fubara did in the eyes of the Lord was wrong. But then, it's not looking at, we should, the entire people of River State should, begin to look for the way forward.
But then,
Fubara should be thinking of...
what do you think? What do you think concerning the withdrawal of allocation, which ought to be constitutionally, is their constitutional right to have their allocation, regardless?
Well, I think I stand with the judgment of the appeal court. I think
to withdraw the allocation.
I think no. The appeal said that that allocation shouldn't be withdrawn. So, but the Supreme Court now says that of course it should be, that he has to refer to the 26 or 27 or 26 lawmakers. So and all that. So, well, I think for me, the public interest should matter. But of course, I mentioned something. I was lectured by my friend. He said that the law doesn't look at what is good or what is bad. So we are not talking about what is good for the people of River State. What should be? But of course, Supreme Court is not looking at that. Supreme Court is looking at what is right and what is wrong. Said that what is right is that you revert to the status quo. So, well, of course,
but they understand
that
they gave 48 hours ultimatum for him to sack all the commissioners and also for him to come and represent the budget.
Well, of course, I think the judgment had been, given, and I expect that Fubara should adhere with that particular, with those judgment in the interest of his own people.
To sack all the commissioners?
Well, of course, I think everything he had done outside, outside the statutory reference, to the constituted house there, should be seen as null and void. And, they have to revert to the status quo. So, he has to represent the budget to the house. And not only that, I think everything he had done, he has to make reference to the house so that they are regularized and normalized. So that is the sacrifice he has to give to his own people. Yes, peace must reign, and there is nothing that is too much. No sacrifice that can be bigger than the interest of the people that you serve at your heart. I think that is my position for now, because Jojo is better than war. Fubara is fighting the power that be. He's fighting special interest. You should understand that. So, and if what you are fighting is bigger than you, well, of course, I think you better, think twice.
All right, so let's just look at it quickly before we go into another story for this morning. What do you think concerning the threat that have been issued? They said, well, we stand with the governor, and whatever happens, we have the heart of the wealth of Nigeria, which is the oil, and it's sitting right in their state. So, well, that it could blow it up and that nothing is going to happen. I mean, police is saying they are up to the task. Do you think
the police are not up to the task? That is the simple truth. They need to know that. But of course,
over allegations of misappropriation, procurement violations, and diversion of funds totaling 138,413,253 naira 89 kobo. At the time of filing this report, it was gathered operatives of Intergraft Agency were still interrogating the former minister. These funds allocated to the 2023 budget of the ministry were reportedly diverted for personal gain, including money intended for the PBAT Cares for Women initiative. An authoritative source confirmed to Vanguard that Ohaneye arrived at the Commission's headquarters on Thursday at 11 a.m. and has been undergoing questioning since then. The source revealed that investigations indicate a clear breach of due process in the ministry's budget disbursement.
Was ambassador that even bring an agent to come and rule under this particular system? The white garment of the angel would have turned red at the end of the day. So that if you sit on any seat of government in this country, and by the time they smell your smash, by the time you leave, it will smell. So I can't deny that, the possibility of that. But then, of course, how many of the people that are having several cases before EFCC, before criminal courts in this country, how many of them that are still there flourishing in one position or the other in this administration that we are talking about? So many of them are guilty. I mean, they are maybe not guilty. Many of them are having cases of graft and all that. But then they are still there ruling. If the people that are alleged of corrupt cases are the one also, alleging another person. So, you can just imagine the kind of mess we find ourselves in the country.
Okay, so let's open the phone lines right now for those at home to join the conversation. Studio lines officially open 070 5510. As usual, thank you for the accolades. And he also says hi to you, Honorable.
Oh, hi, my doctor.
He would always do that. Okay, so studio lines open 0705 510 or 0905 444 1033. I want to go on this. Let me quickly see a few comments on Facebook, and then I'll return to the phone lines at the moment. Meanwhile, let's quickly go for this quick commercial. When we're back, we'll delve into this course and bring you on board so you get to join us on the show. Please stay with us. Don't go away.
Sir. Good morning, sir.
That's speaking from Akana.
You're welcome, sir.
That woman do not write letter of apology. Tata. Shengbomyo, one halenyo, and Senator Yellen. O Teo Brinye, Serano Pamani, Tia Wakwin Yosimbe. Eh? Tata Bodo, one person Yamun, you don't want Haleni, Odom Joda, Odom Yeda. One should do one letter of apology. Letter of apology, Futani, Nibaye, Che, Okasa, the Paroma. No, capital no, Obri Obodo Coletta. We apology. You are very dim.
Okay.
Thank
you. Thank you. All right, thank you, Baba. We could hear you. I mean, just laughable.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I understand where Baba is coming from.
Yes.
But then we can't reach out to her. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning. My name is Ekele Balabi from Malaka Sheboyi.
You're
I
welcome.
just want to comment on the suspension of the senator Udo Apochi Udoaga that was suspended by the Senate. From my own point of view, I thought the woman was not given a fair hearing. The ethics and privilege of the Senate committee also have carried out the street investigation. If we found they are guilty, they can now suspend him. What's going to happen to the Kogi Central Senatorial District? I think they are not going to have a representative for those 6 months. This suspension is unfair. Good morning. Have a nice day.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Kele Balabi, for lending your voice to it. I was about to say that, although that what's going to happen to that particular senatorial district?
Yeah.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. You're welcome.
I'm Baba Soja from Uluwaraba.
You're welcome, sir.
To just say sorry is very, very important. Number one, àwọn òyìnbó ọmọ méjì ni wọ́n bí. Àbí kò yé yín? Ọmọ méjì tó sì bí yẹn, ó ní sorry and thank you. If you cannot do sorry, you will not collect thank you. You understand me? All those people talking that you should not write letter of apology, they are just deceiving themselves. Ẹni tó ju èèyàn lọ, ó sì ju èèyàn lọ náà. Lágbára Ọlọ́run, ìwọ atẹ́kùn pẹ̀lú ẹni tí ẹjọ́ ń sọ̀rọ̀ yẹn, ikú òjijì ò ní ṣẹlẹ̀ sí.
Amen.
Ẹ wá rí nǹkan kan ni pé tí àwa Nàìjíríà tá a mọ̀ ká máa fi kọ́ra sọ̀rọ̀. Ẹlòmíì akọ́ṣẹ́ àsọ pé kí wọ́n gbọ́ pé òun sọ̀rọ̀ nínú rédíò. Àbí kò yé yín? Sorry to write letter of apology.
They want to silence the woman for speaking up. Yes, for speaking the truth to power. Sincerely, and that is uncalled for. Sincerely. See, there was a judgment, just like our daddy said, before their decision in the house. Yes, what is making them, how is it very difficult for them to obey? That means they knew what they were doing. They just want to host that woman out of that place so that the sexual harassment crisis going on against their leader will be swept under the carpet, which is very bad. So I want to call on them this morning that they should please rescind their decision in the interest of the masses, because we are following this case back to back, and anything against that woman is like something against us. Thank you. Good morning.
Thank you. All right. Thank you so much. Let's see this call. Hello. Good morning.
Hello, good morning, Meshu.
Good morning, Dr. Famiwa.
Barika Jimo.
What should I say?
You didn't put your cap today, Friday.
I just want to be like that.
Good morning, Honorable Sir.
Oh, my own doctor. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. Now, you see, upon all these things that is happening, what is even giving me headache is that before the woman submitted submission, they say death on arrival. And that what death on arrival means a lot. It means that they are predetermined that whatever is going to happen, this woman is going to die politically. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, well, with
so, you see, that matter should be investigated thoroughly. I think the court should be able to say something. Thank you. Good morning.
All right. Thank you so much. A lot of persons are really talking about this. For me, if we must look at it, I don't think in this case, this is not in a way to support Natasha, whether she's right or wrong.
No. It's
but
not
allow the
about
courts
yes.
to do the justice.
My own is that an average lawmaker is uniplural. So, you as a person, is different from you and that particular, in relation to the office you hold. When you talk, it is not you that is talking in your own personal capacity. You're talking. Your constituent is talking. So, and if something happens, it happens to your constituent. So, that is my fear. How can you suspend the right of the people to representation? It's all about inclusivity.
All right. So let's quickly take a look at some of the comments on Facebook. Alobe Rukoya said, good morning. Sir, thank you so much. Gabriel Layemi.
Natasha was not alleged of corruption. She petitioned the Gospel of Fabio for sexual harassment. You can imagine the same Apadu that was claiming is a saint did the same thing
So sorry.
Same happened.
He was trying to make the point when he was still a floor member of the House.
And I remember Ovie Omoagege challenged even the resolution of the House. And he was suspended, and the court said you lack that capacity. He has to be restored. So,
I don't know, maybe they forget so soon.
No, it's because they are trying to cover something, but of course, this is Nigeria. Anything can be covered. Something can be sorted out underneath. Maybe somebody somewhere can just say, okay, come, guys, what is happening? You can't be washing your dirty linens. But of course, that is not in the interest of justice.
All right, so Tolokwadeyemi, I know you have something to say here, but let me skip this for now. Sorry about that, because you've called in. So for those who didn't call, I'm going to come back if time permits. Good morning. The turmoil in River State is clear evidence that Nigeria's politics can be chaotic. I urge everyone in a position of authority to intervene and put an end to the crisis, allowing the governor to focus on governing the state effectively. So he's talking about River State. And of course, Gabriel Olayemi Abiodun Oyetunde says, Honorable Adebisi, thank you for this legislative lunacy. No better words to describe our present National Assembly. Nothing more to add. Okay, well, thank you. Oluwaseun Ruth says, good morning, the I-FLIER team, I-FLIER FM. It seems that the ongoing political crisis in River State is not ending anytime soon, but I believe it's high time they all put an end to the shenanigans going on in that state before people start taking laws into their hands. And I also urge the political elites in the state to solve the situation by calling for a peace meeting between the governor and these assembly members, so as to put aside their differences and work harmoniously in the interests of the people of River State. Thank you. Dr. Famuyiwa also has something to say. He's unfortunate. Okay, he has called in as well, but I'm going to reel out other persons quickly. Good morning, SAMSON, OMOTOSHO, and welcome and well done. And also my greetings to Evergreen Honorable Adebisi. That's coming from Comrade Fashino.
Good morning, sir.
All right, so Ademola Komolafe says, good morning. Sulaiman Sharif says, okay, Sulaiman Sharif has called in. Has he called? Yes, I guess he has.
No.
Has he called in?
No,
he hasn't. Okay. Good morning and kudos to everyone in the studio. He says, agreed with Senator Natasha, who says the injustice will not be sustained for the sake of records. For the records, the Senate, led by Bukola Saraki, suspended Ali Ndume for 180 days. The suspension was quashed by the court, saying the Senate did not have such powers. The Senate, led by Bukola Saraki, suspended Ovie Omoagege for 90 days. The suspension was quashed by the court, saying the Senate did not have such powers. So it's just reiterating what what Honorable said. Elewure Isaka Easy Data says, good morning. Also, Lakole Akomu says, good morning, great team. I-FLIER is the best. Male gender are always at the receiving end in most sexual harassment cases. Women should always dress modestly and be well disciplined. She's not the only woman in the house. God bless Nigeria. Okay. Well, if you watch Natasha very well, Natasha dresses very well. She dresses modestly. I mean, if you have seen